What's up, guys? Golden Knight here. There's a kind of exhaustion that doesn't show up in your body right away. It spreads slowly inside, draining your will. You don't even feel like opening your sketchbook. It feels like you're always tired. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not laziness. If you've ever felt this, even though you love drawing, you're likely standing very close to a dangerous place, one that many people ignore until it's too late. This is called creative burnout. It creeps in silently, and over time, it steals your energy, then your motivation, and before you realize it, it starts to affect your self-esteem. The good news is that there are simple and realistic habits that protect your creative energy and help you produce more and better without destroying yourself in the process. Today, I'll show you 10 essential points that work as a shield against burnout and completely change the way you create. By the way, I have to say, I've been taking the art school for digital artists by Burnout, and honestly, I've never learned so much in such a short time. It's a super complete course, like a condensed art school, focused only on what really matters. Perspective, anatomy, composition, all explained really well. If you want to level up fast, this is the way. Check the first link in the description. Totally worth it. Prioritize your sleep. Science is crystal clear. Every lost hour of sleep drastically reduces your creative ability, problem-solving skills, memory, and emotional regulation. For artists, poor sleep literally sabotages the quality of your work. During sleep, especially REM stages, your brain performs essential creative work that can't happen while you're awake. It consolidates memories, strengthens neural connections related to skills you've practiced, and makes unexpected associations between seemingly unrelated ideas. That's why it's common to wake up with the solution to a problem that had frustrated you for days. Harvard University studies show that people who sleep well after learning a new skill perform 20 to 30% better than those deprived of sleep. For artists constantly learning new techniques, this is amazing. Beyond the technical aspect, proper sleep is your main defense against emotional burnout. When you're chronically sleep-deprived, small frustrations seem like overwhelming disasters, constructive criticism sounds like a personal attack, and your motivation to create simply vanishes. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making, is especially vulnerable to sleep deprivation. This explains why, after a bad night's sleep, you might obsessively revise a tiny detail in your project for hours or spiral into paralyzing self-criticism. Sleep restores perspective and emotional resilience. To make this non-negotiable, set a consistent sleep and wake time, including on weekends, at least for the first few weeks to build the habit. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. and alcohol before bed. Both ruin sleep quality even if you pass out easily. If you regularly work late, try flipping your schedule. Wake up earlier to work while your brain is fresh, instead of forcing creativity at 2 a.m. when you're drained. Most artists who make this shift report completing in 2 to 3 hours in the morning what would have taken 5 to 6 hours at night. Sleep is not lost time. It's the most profitable investment you can make in your art quality and the longevity of your creative career. Wake up in peace. Now that you know you need to sleep well, you also need to learn how to wake up. The way you start your day affects much more than your mood. It defines the level of mental clarity you'll carry through the day. When your first gesture in the morning is grabbing your phone, your brain switches to reactive mode. News, messages, demands, comparisons. Before you even remember your name, the world has already decided how your day starts. Waking up well has nothing to do with waking up early or following some perfect online routine. It's about creating a buffer between sleep and chaos. It can be 5 minutes sitting in silence, sipping coffee slowly, or listening to a song that centers you. This moment functions like a meditation. It organizes scattered thoughts, calms anxiety, and creates a smooth transition from rest to creation. Artists who start their day consciously don't waste energy in the early hours. They enter the creative process with a less fragmented, less reactive, more present mind. This shows in better focus and decision-making. I personally love writing my video scripts in the morning, after coffee, of course. When I try writing at night, the difference is glaring. It takes me at least 3 times longer to produce something with lower quality. Move your body. There's a common myth, also known as a collective delusion, that body and mind are 2 separate things that work independently. But the truth is, when your body doesn't work, your mind shuts down too, and vice versa. Sitting for hours, slouched, drains your energy without you noticing. Regular physical activity doesn't steal time from your art. It multiplies the quality and quantity of what you can create. The human body was made to move. You don't have to become an athlete. Just include some form of movement in your day. A short 30-minute walk, occasional stretching, standing up between drawings. Studies show that moderate aerobic exercise increases neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, in the hippocampus, improves memory, and boosts creative thinking for up to 2 hours after the activity. These are simple habits that make a big difference. Many creative blocks aren't due to a lack of ideas, but a lack of energy. And energy doesn't come only from coffee. Physical activity also releases substances that improve mood, reduce stress, and increase mental clarity. Take real breaks. Nowadays, productivity is a hot topic, so when we talk about breaks, many people immediately think they're wasting time. And this leads to one of the biggest creative mistakes: replacing a real break with digital distraction. You step away from drawing, but keep demanding from your brain. You swap one screen for another, one stimulus for 10 new ones, and call that rest. The problem is, your brain doesn't rest this way. A real break is a moment of silence. It's stepping away from your chair, shifting your gaze, taking a deep breath, drinking water, looking out the window. It's allowing your brain to stop processing information for a few minutes. This space is essential because human attention wasn't made to stay constantly switched on. There's a reason why many ideas come when you step away from your work. It's common to hear creative professionals say their best ideas came while showering or walking. The brain needs downtime to reorganize thoughts, connect loose ends, and solve problems in the background. Working in blocks with conscious breaks doesn't slow you down. It makes you more efficient and more whole. Have a routine, but not a prison. Waking up without knowing what to do, when to do it, or where to start consumes a massive amount of mental energy. Before you even begin creating, you're already tired from making decisions. A healthy routine isn't a military schedule. It's a simple, sustainable map that guides you through the day. Knowing roughly when you'll create, study, rest, or handle tasks lifts a huge mental burden. When those decisions are already made, your mind is free to do what it does best: imagine, experiment, solve creative problems. Artists without structure end up spending energy organizing their own lives, and that's a huge waste. Routine doesn't exist to trap you, but to protect you. It creates boundaries that prevent extremes, like working to exhaustion or procrastinating endlessly. Eat real food. Many people try to compensate for sleepless nights and long days with coffee, sugar, and whatever quick snack they can grab between drawings. The problem is, this kind of fuel creates a short burst of energy followed by an even bigger crash. When your nutrition is poor, your body suffers, and as a result, so does your mind. It's like trying to drive a race car with terrible fuel. No matter how much potential it has, it won't perform well. Creating requires clarity, stability, and mental stamina. And that depends directly on the fuel you put in. Try to eat real food most of the time. Fruits, vegetables, simple meals that sustain energy throughout the day. Drink more water. We're in the information age. At this point, everyone knows what they should and shouldn't be eating. Small changes already make a huge difference in your daily functioning. Low-pressure side projects. Always keep a low-pressure side project running alongside your main work. This is a creative space where there are no clients, no deadlines, no quality expectations or pressure for results, just pure exploration. It can be a sketchbook of experiments, a personal illustration series, music compositions that will never be released, anything that lets you play with techniques, styles, and ideas without consequences. The point isn't portfolio or income. It's keeping alive the spark that made you want to be an artist in the first place. Why this works so well has a psychological basis. When all your creativity is tied to performance, external approval, or financial return, your brain starts associating creating with stress and evaluation. You lose touch with the flow state and childlike curiosity that fuel genuine innovation. Low-pressure projects reactivate your brain's exploration mode, where you try weird stuff, fail freely, and occasionally stumble upon discoveries that revolutionize your main work. It also builds emotional resilience against rejection and criticism in commercial work. When a client rejects your pitch or a project flops, it hurts less if you have a creative space that's 100% yours and nobody can judge or take away. This keeps your artistic identity separate from the inevitable ups and downs of working professionally in creative fields. To implement this, pick something easy to start and quick to pause. Nothing that requires major setup, or it'll kill your consistency. I like to keep a sketchbook with a mechanical pencil clipped to it. It's fast, easy, super accessible. And I even use printer paper, to remove the pressure of wasting quality pages. Set aside regular weekly time for this, even if just 30 minutes. Over time, you'll notice this space acts as a creative release valve, a lab for technical innovation, and a constant reminder of why you love to create. Talk to other artists. Creating can be a solitary act, but living art completely alone comes at a cost. When you're too isolated, problems start to seem bigger than they really are. The block feels like failure. A bad phase feels like proof you're not good enough. Talking to other artists breaks this illusion. You realize almost everyone deals with the same doubts, fears, and creative blocks. Honest exchanges act like mirrors. You recognize yourself in others and, at the same time, see your own situation more clearly. Sometimes a simple conversation lifts a huge weight because it validates what you feel. You realize you're not broken, you're just living the process. This strengthens you emotionally and helps you keep going. The key here is not turning these connections into comparison arenas. Constant comparison corrodes self-esteem and drains the will to create. Every artist has a different pace, context, and journey. A healthy community sustains you. It reminds you why you started and helps you get through tough times without giving up. Sharing the path makes the journey lighter and much more human. Take care of your mind. Many artists treat their materials, technical studies, and line work with care, but treat their own feelings as an annoyance to push aside. Yet your mind is your primary tool. If it's overwhelmed, no technique can sustain the process for long. Taking care of your mental health means creating an internal environment where creativity can exist. This could mean talking to someone you trust, seeking professional help, learning to recognize your limits and respecting them. It means understanding that hard days are part of the journey and don't define who you are as an artist. An emotionally healthy creator handles criticism, frustration, and low productivity phases better because they don't confuse temporary moments with their identity. In the end, art is not a constant performance. It's a long journey full of ups and downs. When you care for your mind, you give yourself the chance to keep going, to learn, to grow, to fail without abandoning yourself. If there's anything that truly protects your creativity, it's this: being whole in the process. Intentional creative consumption. Many artists fall into the trap of passive, endless consumption. Scrolling on Instagram, watching anything on Netflix, consuming content just because it's there. The problem is that this kind of scattered, low-quality input doesn't nourish your creativity. Instead, adopt a more active approach. Consciously choose what you consume based on what you want to develop or explore creatively. If you're working on an editorial illustration project, maybe spend time studying documentary photography, reading essays on the topic, or analyzing the work of illustrators in that field. If you're exploring animation, watch films not just passively, pause and study scene composition, timing, color use. The difference between passive consumption and active study is huge in terms of its impact on your own work. Set conscious media diets. This might mean deliberately avoiding certain content types that you notice are polluting your creative vision. The quality of what you consume directly determines the quality of what you produce. Create systems that encourage intentional consumption. Keep a list or folder of curated inspirations, artists you genuinely admire, not just ones you follow out of habit. Schedule weekly research sessions where you actively seek new works, techniques, or artists outside your usual bubble. Use tools like Pinterest strategically, creating themed boards for specific projects instead of saving everything randomly. Download long articles to read later instead of just consuming headlines. The idea is to shift from reactive to proactive consumption. If this video helped you in any way, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. Don't forget to take a look at the description. There are several important links there that can help you even more. See you in the next video.